Journalism watchdog Poynter now forced to scrap their list of unreliable news sources because, as it turns out, the list wasn't reliable. Backlash grew as several conservative websites were mistakenly targeted, and Poynter took down the list, replacing it with an apology.
Recently, the Poynter Institute, a supposedly neutral media watchdog group, published and then pulled a list of 515 websites that allegedly produce fake news. Among the groups listed were conservative websites like the Heritage Foundation, Newsmax, and the Media Research Center. The list was, not surprisingly, compiled by an employee of the Southern Poverty Law Center, which compiles lists and maps of supposed hate groups.
You could go out and start your own hate list tomorrow. And you could target people or organizations that you don't like, and you could publish a hate list. And you could put it on the internet. And you could send out email and mail outs on that, but it's not a legitimate list. But that's exactly what the Southern Poverty Law Center has done.
No, there's no question about it. The Southern Poverty Law Center is a scam. It's a scam. It's a dangerous scam, but it's a scam.
There's no legitimacy to the hate map to begin with. As an organization that started out as a civil rights organization, there was probably a time when they did some good things in defending minorities, particularly blacks down in Alabama there where they are headquartered. But Morris Dees was a master at direct mail and other types of fundraising, and he applied that to the Southern Poverty Law Center. And now they're fleecing people.
Morris Dees was the founder and a longtime key player in the Southern Poverty Law Center based in Montgomery, Alabama, from 1971 until just a couple of months ago when he was forced to resign, reportedly for alleged sexual harassment and other issues.
They're just fleecing people that don't realize that they've moved a long ways from where they were in terms of being focused on civil rights. They make a lot of money. They got $432 million in their coffers. Much of it is in offshore accounts. And they continue today to fleece people, but the legitimacy of their hate map has been proven to be absolutely non-existent.
The Southern Poverty Law Center has stashed hundreds of thousands of dollars in Caribbean bank accounts. This is how concerned they are about poverty. In the last year that they filed their 990, not one dime was given for grants. Not one dime went to help any poverty program anywhere in the country. And their hate map is it's a cash cow for them.
It's amazing to think that organizations that hold to traditional biblical morality or who sound the alarm on radical Islam are mixed in on the SPLC's hate map with the KKK or skinheads. But some groups, including this ministry, are beginning to fight back.
Now to the Southern Poverty Law Center, a left-wing attack group masquerading as a civil rights organization. They professionally slur mainstream conservatives and Christians, calling them all kinds of names. So you won't be surprised to learn, and by the way, names that are taken up by the rest of the press and reported as fact, you won't be surprised to learn that a Florida-based Christian missionary group named D. James Kennedy Ministries made their list of hate groups. Unlike so many that have been tarred this way, they are fighting back. They've sued the SPLC for defamation. They've lumped you in to a category as a hate group. What effect has this had on your ministry?
Well, first of all, it's not a lot of fun to have your name listed right alongside neo-Nazis and the Ku Klux Klan and skinheads. It's a label that they use to try to silence your viewpoint.
D. James Kennedy Ministries' lawsuit against the SPLC for slander is still working its way through the federal courts. As has been said, the wheels of justice grind slowly, but surely. Since the recent resignation of Morris Dees and the forced ouster of SPLC President Richard Cohen, a lot of disturbing reports on the liberal group have been reported, even among liberal media sources, like an article by a former SPLC employee in The New Yorker. He tells, for example, how employees would walk past the words from Amos chapter 5 and used by Martin Luther King Jr. etched in marble at the SPLC, and they would mockingly change the words to "until justice rolls down like dollars." Ultimately, critics note, the SPLC is trying to keep Christians from impacting the public square.
Hitler obviously went to the churches and said, you can worship, but you worship in the church, don't bring it in the public square. And that's part of what the SPLC is trying to do, is force us to take our faith and our constitutional right under the First Amendment and keep it inside the church, keep it inside our home, but not to speak, not to write, not to act in the public square, because they are very, very much an anti-Christian organization.